Every time you write a job description, you probably copy and paste the exact same requirement. You type out, must have 3 to 5 years of industry experience. But what if that specific demand is the exact reason you can't find good people? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, and wherever you happen to be right now. I'm Mike Voories, here to help you build a stronger team. Let's talk about a major recruiting blind spot. Companies constantly default to demanding industry experience. We assume it's required. We assume it saves time. But the truth is, sometimes it's completely unnecessary. In fact, sometimes it's a massive advantage to consider outsiders. Today, we're breaking down the pros and cons of going outside your industry when recruiting, and we'll also cover the crucial difference between hiring from an aligned industry versus hiring someone with zero related experience. First, the comfort trap of industry experience. So why do we always ask for industry experience? Well, it's because it feels safe. It's comfortable. Most hiring managers rely heavily on gut instinct. We look at a resume, we see a competitor's name, and then we automatically assume that the candidate knows what they're doing. But without data to back up those instincts, it's easy to make decisions based on perceived personality fit or first impressions rather than true potential. You know, we tell ourselves that an industry insider will hit the ground running. We think it means zero training, but let's be honest. How many times have you hired an industry veteran only to find out they were just bringing another company's bad habits into your building? A bad hire is incredibly expensive. Depending on the role, a single wrong hire can cost anywhere from 50 to 200% of that employee's annual salary. When you consider lost productivity, training time, and morale impact, hiring someone just because they know the jargon does not protect you from that financial hit. Next, let's talk about the pros of hiring outsiders. When you drop the industry requirement, your talent pool explodes. You stop fighting your local competitors over the exact same 5 candidates, but the benefits go way beyond the sheer numbers. Outsiders bring a fresh perspective. They do not walk in and say, "We've always done it this way." Instead, they ask, "Why do you do it this way?" And that kind of objective questioning drives operational improvement. More importantly, though, looking outside your industry allows you to hire for the core traits that actually matter. You can hire for focus. Focus is a far more valuable skill in today's workplace. The ability to focus means being fully present on a single task or problem until it's resolved. An outsider who knows how to focus, they'll learn your business rapidly. But on the flip side, a frequent task switcher can reduce productivity by as much as 40% and lead to more errors, higher stress, and mental fatigue. You do not want a distracted insider. You may want to consider a focused outsider. You can also hire for a strong sense of urgency. Unlike technical skills, urgency doesn't always show up on a resume. Employees with urgency act promptly when challenges arise rather than procrastinating. If you're in the green industry, landscaping, lawn care, irrigation, horticulture, arboriculture, and even snow and ice management, you know exactly how fast things move. Customers expect action, not excuses. If an outsider brings focus, urgency, and a great attitude, you can easily teach them the technical details later. Now, let me be clear. Am I suggesting that focus and a strong sense of urgency must be the exact search criteria for every single position in your company? No. These are just examples. The point that I'm trying to make is when you stop filtering exclusively for industry experience, you free yourself up to hire for the core behavioral traits that actually make someone successful in a specific role. All right, let's talk about aligned industries versus total outsiders. There's a massive difference between hiring from an aligned industry and hiring a complete outsider. You need to know the difference. An aligned industry shares your operational realities, right? Think about a project manager moving from, say, commercial roofing to commercial landscaping. The end product is different, but the daily environment might be exactly the same. They understand routing. They understand crew dynamics. They know how to deal with weather delays. They understand supply chain issues. Employees with urgency understand that timing is everything. They already get the pace. A total outsider comes from a completely different world, however. Imagine a retail store manager stepping into an operations role in a paving company. They don't know the equipment. They don't know the pace of a job site. But what do they know? They know how to handle angry customers. They know strict inventory management. They know how to schedule hourly workers. And both these options can work well, but you must manage them differently. Aligned candidates just need your technical vocabulary. Total outsiders need a complete operational reset. Let's shift to talk about the cons and how to mitigate them. Let's be real. It's not all sunshine, right? Hiring outsiders comes with real challenges. It really does. The learning curve can be steep. You have to invest heavily in training. You have to teach them the industry language, the seasonal rhythms, and the specific customer expectations. If your onboarding process is broken, an outsider will fail instantly. You need tight systems. You must have a structured training plan ready before they start. If you just throw an outsider into the fire and expect them to figure it out, they're going to fail, and that failure is on you. Another con is the risk of frustration. The new hire might get overwhelmed. Your existing team might get annoyed answering basic questions. If you don't manage this dynamic, resentment builds quickly. The outsider feels like a burden, and your veteran employees feel slowed down. So how do you fix it? You got to set expectations. You have to prepare your current staff to act as mentors, not just coworkers. You need to reward them for teaching, not just producing. When the team takes ownership of the training process, that learning curve shrinks. So when to demand experience and when to drop it? When do you absolutely need industry experience is the question. You need it for highly technical, licensed, or specialty roles. You do not hire a novice to be your lead agronomist. You do not hire an outsider to be a licensed applicator, unless you have a damn good training program and you're going to help them get licensed or certified. But what about leadership? What about sales? What about project management? Human resources or dispatch? These roles require transferable skills. They require communication, problem solving, and elite organization. When hiring for these roles, stop obsessing on the resume, right? Use tools that actually predict success. A well-designed assessment adds objectivity to the process. It helps you move beyond the resume and interview to understand how a person works, communicates, and responds under pressure, so that you're not guessing who will fit best on your team. At BR1, we primarily use the DISC assessment, mostly because it's simple, it's practical, and it's proven to improve workplace relationships and performance. All right, this brings us to the core truth. The refusal to hire outside the industry is rarely about the candidate. It's a leadership issue. Companies demand industry experience because their internal training systems are weak. They don't know how to teach their own business. They want the candidate to bring the structure with them. But recruiting issues are usually leadership and culture issues, right? If your systems are strong, your expectations are clear, and your leadership is present, you can turn a talented outsider into a top performer. If you cannot do that, you do not have a talent shortage, you have a development problem. Great teams simplify everything. Hiring becomes easier, onboarding becomes smoother, and engagement rises. Performance increases, and employees stay longer without having to be bribed. So here's your call to action. Are you tired of recycling the same mediocre candidates from your competitors? It's time to rethink your hiring strategy. At BR1, we help solve deeper challenges like recruiting and retaining the right people, improving engagement and culture, and creating HR systems that actually support business growth. We can help you identify transferable skills, build bulletproof onboarding systems, and integrate assessments into your hiring process. Check out the link in the description to connect with us. Until next time, keep building your stronger team.